Welcome back to Blue and Beyond podcast. Really excited to be here today. So today, myself, Justin, Joe, Sophia, Maddie's here taking some pictures, and then we're also joined by a new host.
Hi, I'm Addie Cook Gibbs. I am a sophomore diplomacy major here at Seton Hall. I'm a first-year PA, and I'm really excited to be here on the pod today.
Awesome.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, no, really excited. I think it's going to be a really good episode. Joe, how's your semester going, man?
Dude, it's been great. A lot of running around and stuff, but like I always say, like super excited to be in a lot of different positions where I can give back, whether it's through like the PA program, Alpha Kappa Psi, tutor in residence. It makes you really appreciate that, it's all about the experience, the journey, and just being able to give back and uplift people is super, super rewarding. So even though it does get busy, it does get hectic, I always feel fulfilled in everything that I'm doing.
What about you, Sophia?
Yeah, same type of thing. I would say, this semester is definitely going by really quickly. And I think, in the midst of everything going by really fast, as hard as it is to, balance that sometimes, I think the things, like you said, Joe, the most rewarding things that I do during my day, that's the reason, why I keep doing it. And, that's what helps me, push through. So, even though the time is going by really quickly, it makes me actually, sit down and, enjoy the things that, I immerse myself in. So it's going good.
Good.
Awesome.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like second semester always goes by so much quicker than first. It flies by. But it honestly makes everything so much more rewarding because I feel like you're flying around trying to deal with everything. We're always so busy, clubs, organizations and stuff. And then you have the nice weather, so that adds to it. Honestly, it's been going pretty great, and I couldn't ask for better, so.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like the second semester definitely, it picks up so quickly. The months, it's all of a sudden it's March, it's going to be April soon. But I think, you got to find those moments that, remember, okay, why do I enjoy, my everyday life here? What are the things that actually, make you fulfilled? All of us are involved in a lot. But, with that, obviously we're all college students here, and it's a pretty big topic as to whether college is worth it. Is college something that's, for everyone, that everyone should pursue? Is, college a scam? And that's kind of, what we want to get into today, talk about it, obviously from the perspective of people in college, but, whoever wants to kind of jump on that first, what are people's thoughts on, is college a scam? Does it depend? I think there's a lot to be said there. But yeah, what are people's thoughts?
Definitely. I can go first. I have a different perspective too because I'm from out of state. I'm from Illinois. So obviously we're in New Jersey right now. Yeah. Going to college wasn't even just a decision I made to go to school. It was a decision I made to move my entire life. And that's not a decision that comes lightly. So I don't think it's a scam, but that's for my specific circumstances. This school, Seton Hall. I'm a diplomacy major. We have a school for international relations and diplomacy. That's why I chose to come here. I am getting the education I've always wanted to get. I am meeting the people I want to meet. I'm doing the things I want to do, whether that be internships or speaker opportunities and events. But there is also, again, the added factor of I am 5-6 states away from home, thousands of miles. I do have those thoughts every once in a while where it's why am I in the right place? Am I meant to be here? So if anybody wants to,
I think. Go ahead, Sophia. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to jump in because I think that's a really cool perspective because I am from New Jersey. So it's I never really pictured myself not going to college. I always just was okay, I'm going to go to middle school, high school, college, graduate, get a job. So that's just kind of how I grounded myself, if that makes sense. And I definitely have had doubts here and there, is this my place? Is this where I'm meant to be? But as far as the idea of college, I never thought of myself as someone that wouldn't be going. I would do whatever I could to get there. But I think you do need a balance in society. I think it's honestly just a big learning, it's just a big lesson. Because a lot of people go to school and then they realize this is not what I want to do. I don't want to be in school anymore. Which I get sometimes. I definitely have those moments, but I think it is a really it's just like a transformational time, like as a person, like an individual, to really like find out like, is this something that like you want to do, and not just like the school aspect, but like, is this like what you feel like fulfills you and like that you're like rewarded by, or would you rather just like go straight into work or go straight into like doing something else? And I think like in order to have like a society that runs well, like you need people that like use like their talents and skills to do like both of those things. And like for the people that do go to college, it's like, are you really like utilizing it and like making the most of it? Like, is it really something that like you're taking seriously? And in the same way, like if you don't go to college or you do and it ends up not working, like are you putting like your heart and soul into like the work that you do? Like, is it something that you really love to do and like you want to like give back? So I feel like your perspective just made me think about like, okay, like I am in state. I've always been a person that's like been like, I am going to college. I never really thought differently. Like I've had my doubts about the school itself and being like, is this my place? But I've never been like, oh, I'm not going like at all. So I think it's just like really cool to see like that. But I think we do need a balance. I do. Like I think you need like those life skills, you need the work skills, but then you also need people who like have like those networking skills and have like the corporate skills like in order to like run well. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I always say like everything in life, right, is an opportunity. So I kind of came into college with this kind of mindset of like, oh, like I'm just here to get my degree, right? I'm just here, 4 years. I know I'm going to go to grad school and ultimately pursue a PhD in math. Like that was kind of how 17, 18-year-old Joe kind of saw himself coming to college. Like didn't really see, like I had a lot of friends in high school, was very social, but kind of coming into it, I was kind of like, I'm just here for one thing, and that's my degree. And now, like, I fast forward to 2 years later, and I'm like, if I still had that same mindset, in a sense, I think my college experience as a whole would kind of be a scam because I'm being deprived of so much. And I think for me, really coming here and really allowing myself to kind of, like Sophia said, have that kind of like transformative experience, put myself out there with people. Justin's one of my best friends. We really hit it off freshman year. Like allowing myself to really meet new people, try new things, whether it's getting involved, really just putting myself out there in various different things shows me that there's so much more to college than just getting a degree, right? And I think from that lens, I was like, well, I'm looking at it, I'm like, if I'm here to get my degree, then I can see where maybe that aspect is super important. But if I'm just putting all my effort into that, I'm missing out on so much. So from my perspective, that would kind of be a scam in the sense, like, because I feel like there's so much more you can get out of it. But I feel like when you really look at it, it's like you really get so many experiences on life. And I talk about this with so many different people, like, this opportunity called college, where there's so many different people with so many different diverse backgrounds, with so many different stories, with so many different things inherently within them that make them truly who they are, you're never going to have another experience to be like in such a melting pot like that. And I think when you really take that opportunity to kind of think about that, reflect on that, and put yourself out there and connect with people, it really becomes the experience that makes college so special. And that can be something just as simple as going to the dining hall with your friends, or literally being on e-board of an organization, or giving back in different ways through servant leadership. So there's so many different ways. And I think when you find that niche and you find that and you carve out that experience for your own, with other people around you, where you're helping and bettering each other, I think that's when you realize that's the beauty of college. And in the process, you're learning so many different skills that become essential to life. And really what life comes down to is people. So I would say the collegiate environment, there's no better way to get to learn so many different things about people, because you have so many different stories, perspectives, insights. And I think really allowing myself to be a part of that was something that really was an eye-opening, and kind of like you guys have alluded to, that allowed me to have that transformative experience where I value the college life so much more.
Yeah. No, I think there's definitely a lot to be said there, Joe, with like the experience. I do think when people make that statement, like, oh, college is a scam, like, I think that requires nuance, because I don't think they're necessarily talking about the experience, or maybe they are, but we also are ignoring the big factor of like it being a financial burden, and I think that's the big thing, right? Like the expense of it. I think for one, it definitely depends on what you're doing, right? Like, I do think college can be expensive, especially like we go to a private school. They are good with financial aid and scholarships and stuff like that, but it is definitely a burden. With that being said, I think if you are pursuing things, like there are things that you do need a college degree for, right? Like, I'm a biology major. I want to go to medical school. Like, I need to go to college. But like what you were saying, Sophia, I feel like it's just something in our society that's just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to college. Like, you don't, it's like not something you think about.
Yeah.
Whereas like I have a lot of friends from home. Like my two best friends, one went to welding school, one went to electrical school. And like, I think that's great. I had a ton of friends go to, you know, like trade schools and, you know, they're working, have more money than me now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to be successful. And if that's for them, great. But like what you're talking about with the experience, I think that's what I've really gained out of it. The other thing too, like I do love when you think about it, like the way that our society's set up, you literally, you know, if you are someone that goes to college or wants to go to college, you're just given 4 years to literally just think.
Yeah.
Like think about, like, you know what I mean? Like you take, I'm personally someone that, you know, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, if you're, you know, a finance major or a marketing major, why do you have to take like a science class or philosophy class or all that? Like I'm personally for that. Like I don't know, I've added like different minors and stuff. Like I think those are some like my favorite classes, like those humanity classes. I do think it could be a little bit, you know, frustrating at times, but like I've gained so much from that. So I do like how we just think for like 4 years about and learn so much about yourself. The thing that I will say though, and I think there's a big point that a lot of people ride when they do talk about it being a scam, is that they learn so much more in the field. You know, and I was even talking to Maddie about this yesterday. Like, she was saying she's learned so much more from being in the schools and stuff like that. Like, she's an education major. And I think that's something that you hear a lot, you know, with people in business. You hear a lot from, like, nursing students. You hear a lot from people going to education where they learn so much more, like, oh, when they're working their part-time job or from their internship and stuff like that, where it's like, okay, what's really the point? Is it to prepare you for an exam, or is it to, you know, actually prepare you for what you're going to do?
I feel like, though, like, the way school has set it up and how society is set up, it's like you kind of need that first step to get to the experience almost. It's like, where do we find our internships? Where do we find our field experiences? Through our school. So it's like, I mean, like, I totally definitely agree. Like, with the experience always feels more, like, educational and more rewarding, but it's like, could we ever get there without the first step of us going to classes and showing the discipline and learning how to learn and read and do all these things that, like, because, like it's kind of going back to what Joe said, like, it's a lot about the experience and not all about the education. Like, I feel like when I graduated high school, I didn't know how to study for an exam.
Right, yeah.
And now I'm here in college, had to learn real fast. Right. Like, you know, they don't, you know, so it's like those kinds of skills, like the skills to complete 50 pages of reading a week and write your report and do your weekly assignments. Like, I think that is just as much of a benefit than the in-field experience when you're, like, on the job, too.
But then I often wonder, like, why is that a stepping stone, right? Because you look at a lot of these, like, internships and stuff, and they're teaching you a lot of the skills, like, that you need for those required fields in an internship in an early job setting. So my thing is like, if you already have, like, a base level knowledge, like, a lot of people sometimes when they're through high school, they have, like, a pretty solid knowledge. Like, you can take up to, like, for example, like, for me, right, you could take up to Calculus 2, even 3 through high school. Some people don't even take Calculus 1 in 4 years of college. So just kind of put that perspective out there. So, for example, for me, like, I'm taking up all these upper level maths. Like, is that really benefiting me? Or when I sit down for that initial internship or job interview, are they really going to ask me about the 4 years that I put in taking all these classes? Or is it going to be more my conversational skills? How do I work with others on a team? Which are all skills that I don't necessarily think you need in a collegiate system. Now, can it help? Sure. But there are also plenty of other people that have those skills without having the college experience.
1,000%, yeah.
And, like, there's also the argument that goes around, I don't know what you guys think about this as well, but, like, oh, like, I could just learn this online, right? You could take these classes online, like, and just look up, I don't know, Calculus 1, and you could get the full course and teach yourself. So you run into that as well, and it's like, I don't know, like, I'm here and I'm learning all these things, but, like, what if I already feel like I have the skills? Like, is this really enhancing my thing? It's like Addie kind of said, it's become like a societal norm in a sense that we've all endorsed, that we could just all spend all this money to get that bachelor's of science, that bachelor's of arts, and that's the piece of paper that gets you in the door.
So it's like, I see both of your perspectives, but it's like kind of, there is a flip side to that almost, I feel. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it depends though on the field, I think. Because it's like, but then Joe said, like, I feel like I learned those communication skills and those, like, talking, how to interact and be in a setting with people from the experience. So it's like, it all depends on what you want for your life.
Yeah. I would say, like, going back to the point of, like, how the piece of paper, like, gets you into the door, like, I agree, like, 100%. because like when you go to apply for a job, like especially like in the medical field, stuff like that, like if you don't have that piece of paper, like you're not even being like considered.
Right.
And I think like a part of like something, at least for me, that has changed, like my perspective has changed a lot on the degree, because obviously I'm here for a college degree. Like if I don't walk out with a college degree, then in my opinion, like it was a scam. Like it was, I don't want to say a waste of time, but I did get an experience, but that experience like didn't get me like my future self anywhere. So I would say like when it comes to like the degree itself, something that has changed like from my perspective is like, yes, the degree is a piece of paper saying like you know your stuff and like academic wise like you made it through. But now I also look at the degree as like there's like two parts to it. There's like the academic side of it, but then there's also like the experience side of it. So it's like, okay, that piece of paper gets me in the door, but then like what part of like me, like I am like the degree, like what can I do to like stay then like in that room, like it will get me into that room, and then I have to be able to like keep myself in that room. So I feel like the degree gets you in like that piece of paper, but then like you also like are like a walking degree in a sense. It's like, okay, this is like what I know now, like this is who I am, this is how I can contribute, and like I'm gonna prove to you, like I'm gonna show you like this is why I should stay. And like a lot of those skills, like I feel like I definitely did have, like even if they were baby skills like before, like in high school, but like being in college, like meeting like new people, new personalities, like learning about myself, learning about other people, how to work with other people, like what to do, what not to do, like I feel like all of that kind of goes into that second side of the degree, like the experience, like okay, I have the academics, I know what I'm talking about, like I'm qualified, but then I'm also a person at the end of the day. And it's like I can sit down with you and have a conversation, like you can trust me, like I'm reliable. Like it's all those skills that like at the end of the day, like when you're talking face to face with someone, it's like, okay, not only do you know what you're talking about, but like I can trust that like you know what you're talking about, if that makes sense.
What are your thoughts, Sophia, on like people that would say that, you know, like, because I hear people talk about jobs that they apply for, and it's like they don't require to see your transcript or like, for internships, they don't see your like GPA. Like you submit your resume and you say like, oh, I have a bachelor's degree or like something like that. They don't actually like require to see, you know, maybe some do, but I know there are some that like don't. It almost seems like sometimes they might like brush over it, and it's like, I worked hard for this, and you're just gonna like not trust the fact that, oh, I just put this on my resume, but it's like anyone could have just put that and like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're submitting, either for graduate school or something like that, you are. But like, do you think that there should be more like, I guess, pressure to learn more about like your college experience when you're applying to jobs, or is it kind of, because it seems like something like, oh yeah, everyone has a college degree, like okay, well, I care about everything else. Do you think they should care more about that, or?
I would say I think the fact that they ask for it definitely shows that like they care, because like I said before, like if you don't have that, like you're not even getting that interview, you're not getting like a face-to-face talk with someone, like you're not getting anything. And so I feel like, because I've heard this too before, and like it really, the more I talk to professionals, the more I hear speakers and alumni and like even like parents talking about like their experience, or even like recent graduates that are now like in the workforce, and like they're telling me things like that they now have to adjust to and they were not used to before. Like I don't necessarily think that there should be more pressure to like show that, and I don't want to say that it's not important, because I think it most definitely is.
Right.
And I think that like when you go into like an interview, the reason why they brush over that is because like they know, like they can see it on the paper, like that you worked hard, like they know what a college degree means, but then they want to see like, okay, like what can you do with that? Like, what are you going to do with that? Like, who are you? Like, why should, because like everybody in the room, everybody that they interview, everybody that they see, like they all have a college degree. So it puts everybody on the same playing field. Like everybody worked hard, everybody did the same things, everybody had late nights. And a part of like, I don't want to say like a sacrifice, but like a part of going into like an interview is also like, okay, acknowledging the fact that like you did work hard, but that's not the only thing that like you should harp on. Because on top of working hard, like, can you have a conversation with somebody? Like, can like you walk into a room and be confident? Can you like speak up when you need to? Like, I feel like that's why I said like before, I feel like it's very like a degree is very much like two parts to it. And I'm not gonna say like the academics like is not important or is a very like low or like small percentage of that, because I think that they are just as equal. But I think, like, the reason why, like, when you walk into an interview or you're talking with a professional and, like, they kind of just brush over your degree, it's like they already know that. Like, they picked you for a reason. They know, like, they believe that, like, you have those skills, like, academically, and, like, now they want to see, like, okay, like, what else can you offer? Because at the end of the day, it's not just, like, how much work you can get done, how quickly you can do it, like, if it's right or wrong. Like, that's obviously a very important part of it. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, like, you're going to be a part of a team. You're going to be working with people. And, like, going back to, like, Joe's point, like, I feel like a part of your college degree is, like, saying, okay, I've dealt with all kinds of different people. I know people. I've studied people. I've seen them. I've spent time with them. Like, the same people that go to college are the ones that are in the workforce. So it's like you're going to see the same behaviors. You're going to see the same personalities. You're going to work with people that, like, you've either never worked with before or that you have worked with before. So I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like at the end of the day, like, I definitely agree. Like, I think that there should be more because of, like, the societal pressure to go to college, or even, like, looking down upon somebody that doesn't go to college. I think because of that societal pressure, we should get more recognition for it, but because when you go to a job that requires a college degree, it puts everybody on the same playing field. So now it's like, okay, how can I be above this playing field? Like, and that's when you have to step in and advocate for yourself and market yourself and, like, show them, like, this is who I am, like, take it or leave it, and if it's for you, then, like, you will be there, and if it's not, then the next best thing is going to come later on.
Yeah, and I think that's the important part where you tied in the experience, right? Because, like, you're going to get that experience here and a variety of things you are involved in or going to. But then I think also, too, right, like, for Justin and I, right, like, we take these hard STEM classes, and, like, we get sometimes 50s on these exams, and it's like, we put in all this work, right? Like, we're spending so many hours just for that to get, like, glossed over. And it's just like, I don't know, that's the frustrating part, because then it's like, why do it almost as a college student and then, like, a STEM student as well, where I know to get that A, I'm going to have to put in even 10 times more work, because it just seems like the system is set up for you not to. And then, like, I'm putting in all this work just for it to be, like, glossed over, just to talk about, like, I don't know, I'd struggle with that.
I feel like that's a big, like, untalked about part of college, is sometimes it is debilitating. Like, it will beat you down until you were, like,
like, you don't want it
anymore. But it's like, it's hard to, like, at the spot we're in now, be like, oh my God, like, I can't do this anymore and stuff. But it's like, we know it's worth it in the end. But it's like, that's, like...
the resilience has to come.
And it's really, like, the experience. Like, I think we kind of all hit on that makes me think it's worth it. So at the end of the day, like, we could talk all about, like, the academics, but it's the experience, the people, the relationships that, like, allow me to, like, trust in myself and within the people around me that this is worth it, because I've seen how much I've been able to kind of build for myself, grow as a person, grow professionally, grow socially, and it's, like, through those experiences where I look back and I'm just, like, really, like, reflective and, like, appreciative of every opportunity that I've had here.
That's what gets you through.
Awesome. So, you know, we kind of talked about the different perspectives of college and is it worth it, you know, from kind of outside point of view, and looking at different, you know, really, like, paradigms on why it is worth it, why it isn't. But, you know, talking about it personally now, like, we want to hear what does everyone here think, right? Like, we obviously go to college, so I don't think we think it's a full scam.
Right. We're here,
what is everyone's, like, true take on that? So, Sophia, if you want to start us off.
I can definitely start. I think, so for me, I knew coming into college that I did not want to do anything, like, math or science related. Like, no hate to it, just not my thing. And I knew that. And so for me, it was really easy to kind of do, like, a process of elimination when it came to picking a major. And, like, in, like, senior year of high school, it was like, oh, what are you majoring in? What are you doing for the rest of your life? And I feel like very, very, very early on, even before my college career, I'll say, I kind of started feeling, like, the pressure of, like, knowing and being secure in, like, what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I still think to this day I really don't know. And so for me, I knew I wanted to do business, and I love being creative. I feel like I market myself kind of every day. Like, when I'm just, like, talking to people, I feel like networking does come pretty naturally to me, because I just remember it's more of, like, a humanity side, and it's like I'm just talking with a person. Like networking is just a fancy word for having a conversation. So I chose marketing as my major because I was like, I want to kind of incorporate all those things. And so for me, it's something I've actually been like going back and forth with the thought of this is like, oh, is this really like what I want to do for the rest of my life? Like, am I guaranteed a job like after college, like when I graduate? Like, am I going to have one before I graduate? And so like this topic is very interesting because there's so much uncertainty in the job market, especially with a job or a degree where the skills are not really, I don't want to say transferable, but it's not like accounting or like medical where like you have that path paved out for you. You know exactly what you want to do. You have your specialty and like you do it. This is more like open and broad, and it's a little bit more, I don't want to say creative, but it's just more open. There's so many different routes that I can go, and I might even get into something that has nothing to do with marketing. And like that's something in the business world that like you find a lot of times, like some people go to college for 4 years or more, 5, like for their MBA, and then they get into the real world and they're like, I'm actually not even doing like what I went to school for. So like I can see like the perspective of like college is a scam in that way if like maybe things don't go as planned, especially if you're a very type A person, like you have a plan. But I think for me at least, the reason why I'm sticking with it, especially as someone is still trying to figure out what they want to do, has an idea but still figuring it out, is that like I always do have something to fall back on. Like that degree does guarantee me a spot into that door, and then like I just need to be like confident in myself, like I was saying before, like I need to prove that I'm gonna stay in that room. So I feel like that's just kind of how I've thought about it, and just honestly it's more of like a security thing of knowing like, okay, I can get something. Maybe it's not what I want right away, and then there's another learning experience. Like I like to like look at things as experiences, like different seasons in my life as different learning experiences. And so like I'm more of like I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But I think it's like having the idea that like I can kind of take that degree and like tap into different things, seeing what I like, but also knowing that like I have that to fall back on. Like I do have that, like the qualifications, like I do have like the right to be in a room where it requires one.
Yeah. Joe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. No, that was awesome, Sophia. Thank you. I think for me, honestly, applying to college, I honestly had no idea what I wanted to do. I picked math because it was something I was good at. It was something I understood, and I was like, kind of like you mentioned, like you never know where the degree's kind of going to lead you. You'll at least have a solid foundation. And I picked math because I ultimately thought it was solid. There's a lot of different fields a lot of people don't even know of that have math people. But I always had like these far off like dream jobs, like whether it was being like a PA announcer for like the Yankees or Knicks, or like working on like a cruise ship. Like they were like these jobs that really weren't like practical. So kind of like honing in on something that like I wanted to do. Math was something that I was initially excited for. And then I think I started like my freshman year kind of liking it, but I always was wondering, you know, I had a lot of friends that similar to you were business, but they were more like structured. So like the goal for them, work on their internship, network, get your foot in the door and all that. And I'm saying to myself, like, they're going to potentially make more money starting out of college with a 4-year degree than I might make with a master's. And to me, it was kind of just like, the money only now that I'm spending, but then it's just like, is it really something, and really what can I do with math? So that was always something that I've kind of been like always kind of looked at. And then I also had other friends that didn't go to college and went to trade school, already making more money. And then it's like, really, if you really in the STEM field want to make money and kind of get the connections, you know, at least a master's, maybe PhD in some instances. So it's like, do I really want to put myself through all that schooling? Because again, I always see there's more to life. There's the experience part of it. And then honestly, for me, like a lot kind of changed my sophomore year. I took more math classes and stuff like that, but I really becoming a PA was something that really kind of flipped the switch in my head, like, and having those positive, transformative relationships and really being able to help people through like genuine struggles in their life, and then also doing other mentorship things. It kind of flipped, and I've always liked it, but it kind of flipped a switch in my head where I was like, why not try to pursue something like this career-wise? And then really going into my junior year, sophomore going to junior, I thought about it more, and it was really last semester where I really thought, like, okay, like I need to make a switch. Like I'm really not enjoying these classes anymore. And it almost felt like I was selling myself short, like I was scamming myself out of something. So I decided to add a psych minor in the hopes of potentially doing an alternate route, going into grad school, maybe going into a field where I can help people. Because I'm not like one to help like hype myself up or anything like that, but like I realized at the end of the day, like even through little things like that, like you can truly have an impact on people. And I think like we kind of talked about, and that's why I won't say college is fully a scam, because if I didn't have these experiences here with so many people and so many diverse perspectives and so many different things like that. And I think we all get caught up on like, it's so easy here in college to get like so caught up and say, oh, that person is this or that person's that. But really, if you give them just sometimes 20 minutes of time, you really get to learn so much about them, realize what makes them special. And right, we all have flaws. And I feel like for me, really being in a lot of roles where I've been able to mentor and give back and really put myself, and also me being vulnerable, I realized like I have the opportunity to do this as a career. Like this is a potential option for me. I'm just not taking the appropriate time to explore it. So what I think all of this has kind of taught me is too, like another valuable life lesson as well, is like, as well as like sometimes I still get like mad at myself for maybe not making the switch earlier, looking at it like, I'm gonna have to go to grad school and it's gonna be more difficult than other people that can just make all this money with a 4-year degree. But it's ultimately okay to pivot, right? It's okay to make these adjustments. It's okay to pivot. And I think, you'll always kind of find where your heart is and what makes you feel fulfilled. And sometimes it's just one singular experience, one single interaction. And I really feel like all the things I've been a part of here at Seton Hall in college, let's say I didn't go to college, I wouldn't obviously have this, right? Have really made me realize like the importance of being able to kind of like put myself out there and really find something that makes me feel fulfilled that I can pursue as a career. So looking at it from that perspective and how much has changed, I'm ultimately happy and fulfilled to still be here and have that experience and to continue to carve something out for myself and for the greater community as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's really interesting. I've never even like thought about it like that. Like, dang. Yeah, I mean, I've had kind of very similar to you, Sophia. Like, I knew 16-year-old Addie applying to colleges was like, I want to study international relations and diplomacy. And everybody around me was like, what? Like, what is that? And it's like, it's what is what it is. So I came here, and I still, to this day, study it. I love it. I do. But like you kind of said, it's not really one of those fields where there's a set end. There is 4 million different directions you could go with this, and that makes it a little bit difficult because it's like, what do I want? To this day, I still don't know what I want necessarily. I take these classes, and last year when I first came into this major in this school, I had a lot of doubts. Like, I was questioning a lot. I was like, is this what I want? Like, I'm sitting in these classes and I'm not connecting with them. I still can't pinpoint the career field that I want. Like, people ask me, what do you want to do with this degree? And I can't answer the question. Mm-hmm. Like, at that age, I feel like you, like, as, like, college students, we get asked that question 14 times a day.
Yeah.
And I didn't have an answer. It's like I didn't know. And it wasn't until I had one professor last semester that really, like, changed the game for me. Like, he put it into a perspective. He was very, very, his name was Dr. De Silva. Shout out Dr. De Silva. And he, like, really changed the game for me. He talked to us like we were humans. He showed us experience. And he actually introduced me to the Peace Corps. And so that's what I'll be doing when I graduate. I'm going to join the Peace Corps for 18 months. And I never would have even found out about that. I never would have known. I never would have been given that opportunity if it wasn't for college. So it's the same. Like, we just go back. It's the experiences you're handed. It really is. So in my eyes, it's not a scam. I don't think I got scammed for a while there. Probably my answer would have been a lot different. It really would have, because you don't connect until it clicks for you sometimes. So I think if somebody out there is, like, struggling with that, where they're in this place where they're like, what do I want? Am I meant to be here? It's like sometimes you maybe just got to wait it out a little bit, and you have to find, like Joe, like you said with your PA job. That's when it really clicked for you. Mm-hmm. Like, we all have those times. We all have those struggles. So it's like I'm so grateful that it did click for me. So, I mean, yeah, like, I wouldn't call my experience here a scam at all. But that being said, do I want to know what I want to do? No, not necessarily, but hey, we've got time to figure it out, so it's all going to be okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you guys for, like, sharing that perspective, because I think it's important to hear, obviously, like, from college students themselves, like, what they're kind of going through, and it's not like you gotta, your mind's never been changed the whole time you've been here. Like, you're constantly learning, you're constantly growing. Exactly. So I think it's a great thing, and I feel that you guys really are taking it back to the experience and, like, the opportunity that you're given. So I think, that's a great like motive to go by, and like I would have to agree with that as well. But thank you for sharing those perspectives.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. I hope this was helpful, and yeah, have a great day.